Good evening and welcome back to Off the Line Racing. We've had a nice little week break and pushed round 4 to this week instead, where Division 2 have had their week. So now you can see that Division 1 is back for round 4 and we're getting ourselves over to the mighty Imola circuit, the Emilio-Romagna Grand Prix. 4.909 kilometres long with 19 turns and only one DRS zone. There's only one chance to get that rear wing open, but come powering down that start finish straight and into turns 2 is a perfect opportunity to make overtaking positions. My name is Corey Brooks, one of your two commentators for this evening. Join with me in the booth for a change. It's Ricky Chiado. How are we doing, my friend?
Very good. Yeah, it's nice to be in the commentary booth for once. Should have 18 drivers, which after a few weeks holiday, these guys are starting to come back. So we should see a lot of action. Imola, a small track, a track where qualifying absolutely crucial. So along with some mixed conditions potentially, Corey, this could be a classic.
Yeah, absolutely. It has been known to rain here in Imola in Italy, so when it does rain, it could make things a little bit treacherous as these drivers now explore the new track limits that are available to you. It's been completely sorted out. You found out in the last game and the game before that that just a slightest deviation over white lines, even if you wasn't over the white lines, you get an invalidation, pick up penalties. It was a nightmare, but now we bring it back in the 25 game cycle to rock and roll here again for its 19-turn circuit. It's like you say, very fast times coming in. Could see qualifying times go as low as 1 minute 13. It's all for these drivers to put it out and push it out on the track.
Yeah, I have to say, I'm not. Considering they fixed the track limits around Imola, I'm looking forward to this. We haven't seen this track on the calendar since season 1, when we had one division. So, only a few have been here since season 1. I'm just trying to think who that might. I think Malone Jonas might be one of the few. PW Jones potentially, but yeah, it's gonna be close. It's gonna be furious.
Well, Glitch 10, if we've got him in the lobby yet, he's also returning from season 1. When he does get himself in, we are 17 drivers strong so far. You'll see 18 on the track tonight. So there's plenty of drivers to get there and get some action underway as we get going once again for the at our first little break. We now get going for another 5 race stint, then have another break before we come back for another 4 rounds, I believe. So yeah, let's get going. 5 races to go in this middle part of the season. Plenty of opportunities to move up there in the field and score some crucial points here, as the championship is very, very close between the top 5 drivers. Any one of those in the top 5 in the standings, which we'll take a look at just after qualifying and our lobby restart, could potentially be leading the driver standings tonight. So it all goes down to 1 race victory. They could jump ahead of the order, being as low as P5 in that driver's standings. It's getting close in these early days.
Yeah, and obviously we've had a bit of change in the league. Announced last week that we're now allowing Division 2 drivers who occupy a full-time seat the ability to reserve up. We haven't got any Division 2 full-time drivers up tonight, but what we have got is 4 drivers who are on the D1 base that have not raced yet this season so far. So we're going to get a lot of close action with these reserve drivers who are out to prove a point.
Yeah, absolutely. Reserve drivers looking to potentially snatch up a full-term spot should they be worthy, like Thor's Hammer Mjolnir. You've got to be worthy for that seat. Now, reserve drivers coming in to show their commitment will start off as a reserve driver when you sign up mid-season. You'll be given that reserve spot. You show your commitment, show your pace, show you are here to win races and contend in the championship. A full seat can well and truly be yours should one be available. So it's nice to see all the reserve drivers coming down here to try and show their name and show their ability to what they can do and take that potential full-time seat if we've got one for you. Now we are getting ready to go for the 18 minutes of qualifying. The drivers are in and ready to rock and roll. Maybe Glitch 10's joining a little bit late into qualifying, but nevertheless, 17 drivers to take us away for 18 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, I mean, there's a few reserves that we know. We know the Fizz. We know um, who's the other reserves? Ethan. Ethan's someone I've come across lately through open lobbies. Max Housley, the name rings a bell. I've seen him in 1 or 2 open lobbies, I believe. But Alabono, watch out for him. He might be somebody, especially with it being a home Grand Prix from him. He's going to want to put up a good show.
What's his name?
He's Italian. It's Tartaglia.
Tartaglia, right? Okay, just to clarify that for the stream, so know who we're talking about.
Yeah.
Albano
Yeah.
Taglia that you can see on your, well, you will see on your screen when we get going into qualifying. It's under a different name for some reason with EA's mixed matched and linking accounts. It gives you an EA name, not your PSN name or gamertag, whatever platform that you play on. So I like Steam. You can change it around and play with it a little bit. But those on the consoles are very much restricted.
Ooh.
Oh, and oh, yes, indeed.
Oh.
Oh, I'm going to take you to the track now. You're going to see what the reactions are for. This just got spicy straight away into qualifying.
And I literally said to, I think it was Hilly, not even 2 hours ago, I said, watch out, it could rain at Imola. And we've got rain at least in qualifying, and it could. I mean, it does look like I mean, it's not that heavy, but it does look like it's getting lighter in the clouds. So maybe we get better conditions towards the end. If that's the case, I'm not sure we will get many people out for the first 5 minutes.
Straight away, there's a Red Bull to the track. Is that Luke or Marion Jonas? It may be the South African himself.
It's Luke.
It's Luke. I'd be corrected. Luke's going to take us away straight away on the intermediate tyres before the track gets any worse. So that could tell me, Ricky, this is the time to go out now. I don't think the conditions are going to get any drier if they're coming out on into straight away. Nobody's waiting, really. They're all coming. Well, the cars are coming out.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, you'd imagine if the conditions are going to get worse, you'd see everyone out straight away. You know, we're already a minute and 15 through, and we've got over half the grid still in the pit lane. So I think the conditions are going to get better. Later on, I'm not sure we'll get to see the slick stage, but if it is wet or it's drying up over the 18 minutes, last one across the line on their final runs, it honestly, you could see a Monza 2019 job where everybody just stacks up at Ravazza.
Oh, wouldn't want to watch that, would we? I mean, there's no DRS here, so lap times are going to be well and truly out of the window. And if he doesn't dry up when they are getting ready to come out for the final runs, will they even have DRS for that final run? And moving on into the Grand Prix, if it stays wet, this could go any direction here. I don't know who to put my money on. Ratty currently leading, but we can't count out any driver from the bottom five.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. If DRS does get enabled and people have already done the laps, the drivers who are behind, so the DRS gets activated for them, they're going to have a 6/10 advantage immediately. So definitely, I think we're going to see some drivers wait to the very end. It does look like the conditions are going to dry up or certainly get better. So I think what we're going to see now is the first runs, 4 or 5 laps, and then a few pit stops. So don't be expecting times to be all too close for the beginning.
No, I'm expecting to see quite some big gaps, but we're still on board with Lucas. He's taking us away with a first timed lap. Gets himself reset to 1. It looks a little bit greasy and damp out there, I've got to say. I was just on the onboard camera. Seemed to be struggling through the first part of the chicanes, turn 2 and 3 and up towards turn 4. And then even 5 and 6, it just looked greasy, damp. And as he comes down to Aqua Minerale now, you can see how early he's hitting those brakes, trying to slow the car down. Can't risk sliding it before he comes back up the hill.
Yeah, this first one, this isn't even a banker, is it? This is just getting a feel and get their confidence up. Luke, he has questioned whether or not he should be in Division 1, but his pace test certainly put him there, and I think he underestimates how quick he actually is.
He just gets his head down and focuses. I reckon he could pull out some pretty good pace, but even in the wet conditions here, and may not be finding the confidence there as well, like you say, a confidence thing. But it does set a 27 so far, 27.8. So now we know what sort of pace to be expecting. 27s, 26s. Cooper Fan just goes over 5 thousandths of a second split before Bossmos takes it by 8 tenths. And then there's the 26 from Hako. And Ratte with a 26.8 next to the line. The Aston Martin with no time going to start a lap. We have an Alpine coming around. Is that Hilly? No, it's not. It will be his teammate, PW Jones, finishing the final corners now. Turn 18 done before he hits that little tiny kink curve of 19 to hit the checkered flag. 27.6. So some big gaps in the pace so far. Drivers struggling to come to grips with the slick conditions out there. It's a little bit greasy. Oh, 6 tenths.
Yeah, Marius, he's had a couple of weeks away on holiday. Teammate, was it? He won the second race, didn't he, of the season, Ratty?
Yes.
So Ratty's leading the championship. Good to see him back because this week was meant to be the free week, but obviously we swapped it with last week. Evidently, it looks like a hell of a call and the correct decision given the attendance here.
Yeah, absolutely. A McLaren lockout here, 1-2 so far. But yeah, we're on board with Lawrence Patton, currently Marius Anderson's rival, as he's setting his first banker lap time. Comes around turn number 7, gets going in sector 2 now. Struggling here as well. The track, though, is certainly starting to move some water and displace it, showing a little bit better of a dry line than we saw at the start of qualifying. So I expect Lawrence to have more grip than those first set of laps that we saw coming in. He's coming into Aqua Minerale now, hitting those brakes. Max Housley, reserve driver, goes quickest by just a few thousandths of a second, 8 thousandths of a second separating him and Marius Anderson, who's looking at one of the fastest McLarens on the field. Ratty, his teammate, doing very well as well to take another victory for his team and help them along in constructors as they are leading currently. Lawrence is invalidated though. He's having a stinker. He's surely coming back to the pits for that one.
Good lap there from Alabono, also known as Taglia, up to P3 with a 26.5. So his first lap on the board. Solid there from the Kick Cyber driver. Temporarily Kick Cyber driver, of course, he's just a reserve. Yeah, I have to say Bosmos and Hako both raced in this league on F1 24 at some stage or another. Both seem to have picked up a lot of pace this game.
Yeah, I agree, to be fair. But it depends though, with the new game coming, different grip limits, drivers are adapting to it. I've noticed the car certainly feels a lot heavier. You can't throw it as much, and that with the elevated tyre wear, some drivers again, it's just benefiting their driving style, just coming to grips with this game a lot better. I found a bit more pace in this game than I did in the likes of 24 and 23. It's just the car feels a bit more better.
Look at the times. The times are coming down. They're already lost. They've already got rid of 2 seconds within a few minutes.
Hako goes quicker there. Is that Ratty to start a lap? No, Ratty's improved his lap. 25.4. Stays in P3. Across the
10
line.
minutes. What is the lap time where they need to be thinking about jumping onto this, like slicks? Because it might not get ever to the stage where it's completely slicks, but at some point there might be a point where, you know, it is quicker. What sort of lap time is that?
I think it's going to be risk and reward, really, isn't it? You think about it, they're going to have to a chance it, I reckon, in the final few minutes. I don't think there's ever going to be a chance of it going that dry. I mean, the rain has certainly lightened up, but it is still drizzling down.
It's stopped. It's completely stopped. There's no rain coming down.
Not yet. It is still coming. I can see it on my screen. Barely. It's very light. It is very light, but it is still going to be slick and greasy. I would not recommend slicks for at least another 5 minutes. The final closing minutes, I think we'll see slicks.
Are we talking around the 1 minute 18s before we see slicks, or is it even before that? You know, because yeah, I don't know. Maybe someone could take a gamble on it later on. Maybe someone who not necessarily a front runner, maybe someone sort of Jonesy level, who, you know, can get points and has done, but you know, I wouldn't expect to see a Jones, you know, sort of front row with these sort of drivers on pure raw pace. But in these conditions, it's almost an equalizer.
Jonas. Max Housley goes quicker. 24.8. So I'm not seeing that dry line coming as fast as I would have suspected. There's still rain dropping there in turns 1, 2, and 3. So it's still coming down very, very lightly. But that's why that dry line is not coming as fast as you'd like it to. Is that Ratty ahead of Mariam Jonas on a push lap?
Banana's about to cross his finish line. So where can he go?
Comes down 6 tenths up. Oh, it's only good enough for P10.
P10, so he's getting there. Hilly's up to P9.
Mariam Jonas starting a lap.
If this was me, right, I would be almost I'd almost be tempted to go out on a set of slicks just to, obviously not set a time, but just to judge where how much grip there is or isn't. Just, you can sort of take a gamble on 4 minutes. You can, if at 8 minutes it's not quite there, you're probably going to think, well, 3 minutes to go, there might be enough grip. But you gain that knowledge.
I think Ratty might go fastest here. He's slipping and sliding, really trying to get the throttle down. Hacko goes quicker. Ratty comes towards the line. Is there an improvement there? Yes,
flying.
it is. A 23.6 there from Ratty. Yeah, the conditions are really, really starting to improve, but I still wouldn't even chance it for slicks for another few minutes yet. It's got to be final runs. I'm talking last possible second, slick tyres. Just hope to God that you get some temperature.
Yeah, I agree. I think it will be final runs, but I still think the Inters will probably be quicker because of the temperature. But that said, if you go out now on a set of softs and just
Lawrence Patton up to P2, lovely though.
Take that knowledge, Corey. Corey, knowledge in F1 is absolutely crucial, and these times are coming down very, very quick.
Yeah, Marius Anderson, they fueled up for a couple of runs and they're just pushing now. The tyre wear on Inters is easy. It's very, very light. You can go for a couple laps. You can just fuel up a bit, get them nice and warm and toasty, and just keep going lap after lap after lap. And I think that's what we're seeing here. We're seeing multiple runs from multiple drivers. 1 lap, recharge. 1 lap, recharge. And then another lap if you've got it in you. If not, back to the pits. Ethan Davis now to come powering around the final couple corners. He's not got a time on the table yet, but will soon set one. Down towards the line. Is it looking to be a 23 or a 24? It's Paul by just 9 thousandths of a second. The reserve driver, again taking the fastest lap time, was Max Housley, but the second reservist, Ethan Davis, now takes a new fastest pole time. The South African, Mariam Jonas, takes it even quicker by over a tenth. Boss Moss, even quicker by a few tenths, 22.9. Wow, boys are cooking now.
He is absolutely cooking. The next one to cross the line is the Alpine of PW Jones. PW Jones up to 5th. We got got Haas on track. That is going to be who the hell is the Haas?
Lawrence back to the pits. We have Alpine Hilly on an outlap. Behind him, Mercedes of Banana coming down towards the line. P5, 23.5.
It's getting close.
In the pits, is that glitch 10? Yes, it is. Down to the line. P8, 23.7. Who was that to go higher? Taglio, 23.2. V-Cab, Ethan Evans to take it ever faster by another tenth. A 22.
He doesn't need frames per second, this boy. He doesn't need frames.
Oh. Flying these people now. Really finding the time, putting the laps together. The Fizz up to P2, 22.941. They're getting close.
That's a perfect indication of the track's improvement. I mean, the Fizz, what was he, like 4 seconds off the pace before he nailed that lap? So it just shows you the improvement. Hacko now 2.4. I think Hacko will probably edge his way into the pit now, and then maybe just do a double. I think double outlap might be the way to go, on the next runs. But I don't think we're going to get there to the dries. I think the Inters will be the tyre to be on.
I mean, I don't know. I really don't. This is so close a call. There's still wet spots, but the track is looking dry.
I think it's the temperature. Hilly with a pole lap, but give it a few minutes. That's going to be nowhere. I think the Inter is going to be the tyre purely because of the temperature. I don't think the softs are going to have it, but I'd love to see somebody take a chance on the soft.
Cooper Fanny's a couple seconds up as he's coming out of the final turns. Scarlet Red Ferrari down in 17th. He's going to jump higher now.
Luke's about to improve. Pole
Luke
position.
for pole, 21.7.
Yeah,
second tenths clear. Cooper Fan, 21.4. I think...
it's close. It's close. It's close.
It's nail biting. It's nail biting.
Do you want the temperature in your tyre, or do you want it when it goes DRS enabled? Like it's so close.
Oh, PW Jones, he's invalid, but he's quicker still. Mariam Jonas, is he on the line? He's in the pits. That's Luke going to the pits. Everybody went to the pits. Is anybody braving slicks?
I'm gonna have
Boss Moss braving slicks.
Oh, smart. No, he's gone to...
No.
Wait, no, we have... Oh, there is DRS enabled. The problem is, it's going to take a few minutes to get, to make that stand out. So, do you know what? I still think... do you know what? I think that because that's DRS enabled, I think everyone's going to go to the slick tire.
Wait, we have inters. We have inters coming out. I don't know who's going to brave it. Who is going to brave it? Somebody's got to brave it. I think they're waiting. I think they're just waiting for to see what's what.
You got Lawrence and Max coming out on inters. They're gambling that the tires are not going to get up to temperature on the softs, so they're going purely for the track improvement on the intermediate. A lot of drivers are.
Akko, Malcolm Jonas, Taglia, they're looking for softs, but wait, Lawrence is in. Lawrence is in. It could be softs. I think that's good insight for every other driver. Lawrence on an intermediate run is going back into the pits. They were fresh tyres.
I think it's because DRS has been enabled. I think these drivers are seeing that there's a couple of minutes to go. Championship leader out on intermediates. I don't know. This is such a close call. Max also on the softs, so it's split between softs and intermediates. This honestly, I think this is so close between the two.
Taglia's done it. That's it. Soft tyres onto the track. Down the pit lane we go. This is where things are going to get interesting now.
That said, if the track ramps up, the Inter drivers are going to be right at the back.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. Instantly weaving down pit lane. Look at that. Weaving left and right. Generating temperatures everywhere. Getting a feel for the grip in turn 1 and 2. But, well, turns 2 and 3 even. Back around turn 4.
Aiden is going to be the first, I think, to take us for a lap. No, it's not. It's Ratty. Ratty is the first to cross the line on the new intermediates. He's got a lot of traffic ahead of him.
Ooh, that could have been ballsy there from the Ferrari. That glitch 10 almost getting in the way, but right, he's going almost running wide there, coming out of turn 4. Gets the power down up towards turn 5. This is where we'll see if the tyres are going to hold out or not. The fast corners, the fast chicanes, but Delta 5 and 6 well. Finishes sector 1, a second and a half up currently on the Delta time. Flat to the floor, out of turn 7, all the way up through sector 2, up the hill before you come back down into Aqua Minerale. Around turn 9 and 10, fast double left-hander before you come powering down the hill. Flicking around 11, back around 12, but you need to be cautious on the brakes and not end up in that gravel trap. Does well, does Ratty. Now we'll see where the time difference is going to play out when he hits.
Oh yeah, it's definitely softs now. He's 3.5 seconds up.
Yeah. You can see.
Yeah, the track's just going to be improving all the time.
You can see the improvement. You can see the grip difference. Maybe that was the bad call. We'll go on board with Taglia when he comes down to cross the line. Will be the first on the softs as Ratty crosses the line. It's an 18.9. So on board with Taglia on the soft compounded tyre to see the difference in what's going to happen here.
Watch out for the Fizz. I don't think the Fizz is going to get there. He's the last person on track. He's only got 7 seconds. He's not going to do it. A lot of these drivers, because they're waiting, they've waited too long.
Wait, the Ferrari made it, but no. Banana, Julian Prince didn't make it.
They waited too long. They were waiting for the track to improve so much that they waited too long. Whoever's the last on the softs, they're in for pole position potentially.
I think that may have been glitch 10.
I think you're right.
Aiden's
retired. He's gonna be near the black.
Okay, Taglia's 5 seconds up, so the soft tyres definitely are the one to be on.
Glitch is 5.2 up.
Oh my word. Taglia coming around the final couple corners now. The first soft tyre run. Potential contender, Marius Anderson, fastest, 15.4. Taglia, 15.8. Not going their way. On board with Glitch 10. He's coming down towards the line. Crosses the line. Falls short. Marius Anderson managed to pull the time out when needed. What about Ratty? Has he got anything in the tank? No,
Ethan Davis up to P2.
Ethan Davis and Max Housley through reserve list. Lawrence Patton, pole position in the Haas. Wow.
No, that was mad conditions. Absolutely mad. What a qualifying.
That was a crazy qualifying. I've got to agree with you on that one. I was not expecting that. Full wet. Well, I wouldn't say full wet, but absolutely drenched on the start. Intermediate conditions, and it just dried out into the final minutes. Soft tyres, no way. Lawrence gets pole by half a tenth before you start to see the gaps open up. Two reserves, Ethan and Max, 3 and 4 doing well, but your championship rivals battle it out. Lawrence and Marius Anderson on the front row. Taglia, reserve driver as well in fifth. PW Jones, William Jonas, Glitch 10, Hillier and Luke doing your top 10.
Yeah, but look at championship leader down in P11. Absolutely nowhere. Right in the middle of it. He's going to be full of cars around him. So he's going to need a very cautious lap if he wants to continue his haul of points this week.
We're going to get to our lobby restart phase.
Absolutely. Well, of qualifying. I mean, Imola can always bring the rain, and it duly delivered. I love those wet to dry condition qualifying. So much fun.
Yeah, that certainly brought a little bit of a nail biting scenario. When was the time to brave it for softs? I mean, I was sat on the edge of my seat there for a second when we seen the times at the 121s. It was getting down to like 4 minutes left of qualifying. Is it to be or not to be? Well, it was to be in the end. And for Lawrence, just at the half a tenth clear of Marius Anderson. Obviously, he's been on holiday. Now he comes back with the pace. He's not lost out any, although he's been away from his rig for a while, having a little bit of a break. But you can see as everybody gets themselves retired and normally crashes themselves out, you can have a little bit of a laugh on this one. We know some drivers do go for a practice start because they feel like they can, but everybody else goes barreling into the walls. Skadoosh, spelunk, and death. But hopefully we don't have a start like this in the Grand Prix. Do you know what, Ricky? I wouldn't mind a wet start.
Well, as you know, it is a full lobby reset, but the first lobby reset is set back to dynamic. If there's a lobby reset from there, it will revert to the conditions on the second lobby. So it could still be wet.
Yeah, absolutely.
Obviously, that's just how it is. That's what it is. That's how we do it. The amount of times we've had rain at this stage, and then it's gone to dry conditions, where the drivers actually love that. So maybe we'll get some wet weather.
Well, it did start out dry here in the opening session, but we don't copy the weather over like you say. So the next one will be going in dynamic approximate. So it could still very well have its mixed conditions at the start or at the end of the Grand Prix. If it is starting to go wet towards the end, that's certainly going to be an interesting strategy. Everybody's going to start hard and try and go as long as possible. And then when it does start to rain, things are going to get interesting on crossover periods. That's what I like to see. When do the drivers go for undercut or overcut? When's the right time to box? Because in Austria, I've had a moment where it literally went from Indus conditions to dry like that. I got it clipped. I'll send you that later on. But it was a bit of a mad situation. So could it be so quick and violent here in changing conditions in Imola? We saw the drying up there was a little bit slow, but under race pace, when it starts to go wet, it could just come out of nowhere and everybody starts slowing down within a couple corners.
Yeah. So who impressed you during that qualifying? I mean, I have to say, I thought the two. Actually, I think I think the reserves in general. You had Alabono in fifth, Ethan in third, and Max was fourth. So the reserves are absolutely cooking. I think the Fizz at one point was P2. So the reserves really, really stepped up even at this stage.
Just looking at the chat, we've got Alabono supporters in the chat joining us, watching along. I don't know if that's an engineer or whatnot, just showing love and support. But Max needs to get back in the lobby because under the restart, he either left or disconnected.
Yeah, no, I sent him an invite.
Right, so we get Max back in.
Yeah, Max is in, so he'll.
And now we'll have a quick little chat about the drivers' standings. So I mentioned a few little hints in the qualifying session there, but now you can see it on your screen. Ratty leading away with Lawrence Patton trying to chase him down, 10-point separation, and then Aidan Evans just a couple points behind Lawrence. Glitched and Boss Moss lining up 4th and 5th. They're the 5 drivers that we said that could potentially jump up with just one good finish here tonight in the Emilio-Romagna Grand Prix. This is where things get a little bit spicy and dicey, but it's early days in the championship. You can't throw any one driver out there as a potential contender for the championship yet. There are multiple drivers here with the talent, and to pull out these race victories, to bring the challenge, it doesn't just come down to one dominant, two dominant. You saw how close things were getting then in qualifying. It was all down to conditions and being on the right tyre at the right time.
Yeah, I mean, I know Lawrence is playing a lot on the game. I think Glitch has returned to a bit of form. Marius is as solid as ever in race situations. He's obviously worked on his qualifying. I mean, was he second today by half a temp? So, do you know what? Marius he's just got a bit of an old head on him for someone so young. So, I think Marius might be the one to watch out for in this race.
Yeah, Marius and Lawrence, I reckon them two are going to be scrapping quite hard throughout this Grand Prix. Lawrence, of course, being the contender to try and take the lead of the standings. Ratti, championship leader, didn't qualify too well here tonight, so he's got a better a better chance at clawing back some points at the lead. But again, Marius Anderson's back off his holiday. He did win one of the races, sat there on 25 points. One good win or good high points finish here tonight. Straight back up there in the order for contention to try and strike back and help his teammate along. We'll take a quick look at the constructors now. You can see how dominant things are going to be, but it's not so dominant here tonight. Now you see the Haas Ferrari are just behind the McLarens there on 76 by 68, 8-point difference. Jay Goss, the second Haas driver, unable to attend tonight, so it's down for Lawrence to try and mitigate that gap and to score the highest points possible and hope that Ratti cannot do too well. He's had a bad qualifying and hopefully has a bad Grand Prix and doesn't score any points to help in the constructors there. We have VCAB lined up third in front of Mercedes, then Ferrari, Aston Martin, Red Bull not doing too well on 7 points, neither is Kicksauber, Alpine or Williams. Low point, single digit point position so far as we get going into round 4. So you need to start getting up there and in the fight at least to get into that mid pack and scoring points from the top 10 upwards.
Yeah, and well, we got quite a few people in the chat. Worth noting that if you are looking for a league to get involved with, come and join us. We're always looking to expand. If you race on between 105 and 100, you should have the pace for Division 1. If you're between 90 and 105, the pace for Division 2, and 70 to 95 around that for hopefully a Division 3 to come for Season 5. So hopefully that's something that we can look into after this season.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to pull up the calendar real quickly. If you want to be involved in the action to come, you can see where you may be racing if you get yourself signed up here. So we head over to Imola before. It would have been Austria. What? This week? No, next week, sorry. It still will be, but things have been a little bit changed around.
Yeah, well, what it was is this week was meant to be a free week, but
yeah, that's the one.
we had the free week last week instead. So it is on schedule. It's just next week is Austria. So,
well, yeah. So the dates still remain the same. Starting off with Austria, Miami, and then Singapore. Before we go to Silverstone, you notice the R next to that's because it is reverse track layout. So we'll be going in Silverstone, but it's going backwards. So that's going to be an interesting one. Certainly going to catch some drivers out. We've never seen this before in a racing league, but you're going to see it on the 26th of August, 27th for Division 1, 26th for Division 2, before we go back to the USA for Austin, Texas, Barcelona, Melbourne, and finishing off in Abu Dhabi, Yas Marina. Now we are ready to go racing once again. The drivers are taking back to the tracks. The restart has been completed. The grid has been set. Now all that's left is for the drivers to get the setups on, apply strategies, fuel up, and get ready to rock and roll.
The drivers absolutely praying for their dry, and they've got their wish. It will be a dry race by the look of it. It is approximate, so it can change, but that's looking awfully sunny. Corey, the one stop versus the two stop, what's your favorite? I'm going to say the one stop. It is a very, very long pit stop. I I think there will be a period where the drivers will struggle on the mediums, but they'll have to get through it, and it will ultimately save them around 25 to 30 seconds by just doing the one pit stop.
I've noticed in this game, tyre saving is a must. Whether you want a one stop, two stop, whatever. If you're in the midst of unknown strategies, you'll end up tyre saving in your first stint. It's just something I've seen happen. The one stop does prove to be on the quicker side, but the two stop has had its chances to claw back. Just the grip advantage compared to worn out tyres, just the loss of pace going on from in 10-15 laps on hard tyres is astronomical compared to 4-5 lap old mediums. They can drop seconds a lap. I've seen it done with my own eyes. I've got to say, Rick, it's probably track dependent. And like you say, with a pit straight on this, it's a very, very long pit stop time. Maybe the one stop is the way to go with just how long you're going to be in that pit lane for.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, Tamburella, I know a lot of people slate Monza turn one, yeah, but Tamburella is a much, much worse corner for collisions on lap one.
Yeah, I agree. Just trying to get around into that chicane, round to the left, back around to the right. If you're racing for position off the race start, side by side, and with cold tyres off the race start, tensions are high, pressure's on, and yeah, collisions. It's been known here in Imola to have some nasty moments coming into turns 2, 3, even around 4 and 5. Again, that gravel trap to the outside, just running a little bit wide, and you're out of control. You're off spinning, and you're losing so many positions. You could potentially lose seconds on the race start, but there's always a good chance to pull that time back as everybody's just trying to keep themselves safe and out of trouble on the first opening laps.
Yeah, after 3 races, we've had 0 VSCs, 0 safety cars. Imola, statistically speaking, always provides at least 1 safety car. I'm expecting 1 safety car today. I hope we have a clean start, but safety cars change races, and being on what tyre, when, and what, it'll be crucial.
Absolutely, as we get ready to go racing, that's 5 lights. The grid is hot, the drivers are ready, and it is go, go, go for 32 laps here in Imola. Beautiful getaway from Lawrence and a bad getaway from Marius Anderson. He's immediately jumped by Ethan Evans, who's gone straight up to the outside. So thank you very much. I'll take that. But here comes Marius Anderson trying to fight it back. But there's carbon flying in the background as they go 2 by 2 like Noah's Ark through turns 2 and 3, but we get through safely. Ratty moving up positions on Hilly, up into the top 10 already after that disaster of qualifying. The Fizz dropping down the order now side by side with Bossmos as we get going to finish off in Sector 1. Around turn number 7 we go, still side by side. Huge contact.
Red Bull off. It's LR Luke, a little bit of a squabble on the exit of Tosa. He's all right though. He's at the back, but yeah, give it a few corners just to settle himself. He's only 1.4 behind, so he will be able to catch up, especially on the first lap. A fairly clean start. Lawrence Patton absolutely blown Marius Anderson out of the water. There is carbon fiber damage to one of the cars at the front. Not really sure what it is, but as long as they stay in this pack, they should be okay.
Predictive strategies though, being 2 stops, if not 3 stops, you can get that out of the window. Drivers would rather tyre save than do a 3-stopper. A 2-stop at best, but we're on board now with Ethan Davis as he has managed to break into that 1 second. Lawrence did pull away, blitz away, but now the time is dropping as Ethan uses that battery to get back within that DRS striking distance. There's a 1 second gap there from P11 Hilly as things get mighty close there at the back of the grid. People looking to try and fight through positions. I think that's Ratty now trying to get through on glitch 10, looking for any open door to come his way as we get going out of turn 6.
Yeah, don't be surprised to see Taglia fall behind Max by more than 1 second. He's the only one on the hard compound tyre, but after 4 or 5 laps, he'll be able to claw that time back. So he will not want any sort of safety car for a long, long time. And yeah, he's going to go a long way into this race, provided no VSC or safety car.
Oh, right, he's looking all over the rear diffuser of that Scarlet Red Ferrari. He's going for the grass as he looks for a move going into the chicane of Sector 3. Turns 14, 15, no open door to come his way as of yet, but further down the field, that's Hako moving through on Cooper Farm. Beautiful move there, but now he's opened the door for Aiden Evans to have a go. Aiden Evans is going to slip around the outside though as we get going around turn 17. Beautiful stuff from the V-Cab as the fastest lap start flying in, and Max Housley, the reserve driver, holds it so far.
Marius is having a look. Marius is having a look at Ethan for P2, but now he's going to stay behind. Yeah, Aiden Evans, as you know, plenty of pace. He's having a battle with Hako. Cooper Fan has been overtaken by Julian Prince, actually. There's a little bit... oh, yeah, watch out with the move, because Banana is having a look at Cooper Fan as well. Cooper Fan, for the first time, is in Ferrari. I don't know if you remember, but he was in the Kick Sauber. But he has moved to
the inside. Ferrari. Goes Banana looking for a move on that crippled Scarlet Red Ferrari. He's missing his front right end plate. No wonder Cooper's struggling out here and losing positions. Banana now to the inside as we get going around turn number 9. Getting ready to come down to Aqua Minerale.
Yeah, and it's Malone Jonas is the one who's struggling. He can't keep up with the top 5. The top 5 have broken that gap. So Malone is now the cut in the bottle.
Yeah, just slowing everybody down now. 2 seconds gap from that front 5. PW Jones will be getting a little bit frustrated, stuck behind this Red Bull. Has the Red Bull got any damage, any missing carbon? Not seeing it thus far. Still got a fully intact front wing, but could be light damage. Just ever so slightly, just a bit unsettled. You know, you can start off with a couple of percent. It's just very light green on your MFD, but you're not actually got any visible damage. Lawrence Patton is overtaken.
It's a bit of a... Oh! And he's going to come under threat from Lawrence Patton, and Lawrence is going to get back through temporarily. Ethan goes into the lead. Marius thought about it, but wisely chose to back out. We got a yellow flag in sector 1. We've got a spinner. That's Julian Prince. So he's had a moment off Tamburella exit on turn 3. He is a few seconds back. He's not having the best of time, is he, Julian? Poor lad.
No, he's having a bit of a disaster race here. Wasn't doing too well in qualifying. I think he was P18 in quali. Didn't manage to make the checkered flag in the end and not improve his lap time. He's now sat there in P18. That's Hilly. Hilly's had a moment. He's had a spin. Is there any damage on
Hilly?
Yes, there is. He's missing both end plates.
I don't know how he's lost it there.
Oh, just a bit too aggressive, I think.
That's a weird one.
I think you get to the top of the hill at turn 9 and you just try and fire it round. Maybe too much curb. Unsettled the back end. He's just come away from him.
Yeah, that I would say that definitely goes down as a driver error. PW Jones not quite in the DRS to get the train back up together. But he's not far off it. He's just lost 6 tenths down the straight, so that just shows you the power of it.
Oh, never mind. The prob's going to retire. They're both picking up a 10-second. Is Hilly and Julian Prince. If they stay in the Grand Prix, I'll be rather impressed.
Yeah, it won't really matter because they're going to be that far behind with the damage and that. They wouldn't gain any positions anyway, so...
Oh, Marius Anderson having a little look there to the inside of Ethan Davis, making himself large in those mirrors. The Aston Martin reserve driver. Lawrence Patton was under threat earlier into turns 2 and 3 chicane, but managed to deal with it well. Now, as we come through Aqua Minerale, it looks like Marius Anderson's putting the pressure on Ethan Davis. Ethan Davis had a stinker second sector, though. He's dropped 10.
Marius. Oh.
Absolute stinker second sector, and he's almost kicking that back end around there as we come through sector 3 chicane.
Yeah, I think Ethan needs to let Marius through here because he's the quicker driver.
To the inside.
Send it. Oh, just about okay. But they've fallen out of that DRS. I wonder if Ethan's going to get the DRS and Marius doesn't.
No, I think they're both going to pick it up. The detection.
Oh, they both got it. Okay, so they're both going to need it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would just use Marius now and say recoup your ERS. The problem the Aston Martins have got is they're 3 and 4, and
pit stop.
Historically, you don't want to be pitting on the same lap. So, they're both reserved, so nobody really gets the call.
It just leading car, whoever chooses to go in first. If one chooses to go earlier, for example.
Yeah.
So we get to lap, 14, and Max decides to dive in. It's his call if Ethan goes past it.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, you know, if you pit early, you will get the undercut. But I mean, around here, you're also going to want the tire. So I don't know. I don't know if I'd want the undercut or the overcut, to be honest.
Oh, I think we may see team reservists fighting though, almost side by side. Max having a little look to the inside of Ethan though. No open door coming his way, but all this has done is allowed a bit of breathing space from Ethan and Marius Anderson there. Ethan seems to be struggling now. He's lost time to Marius, and he's now got Max breathing down his neck.
Yeah, I think you can see Max wants to get past, and in fact, he is. Yeah, not so much even making a move, but he's setting him up. So he's going to get a better exit through turn 3 and 4. But Ethan covers it pretty well. Watch out for Taglia, because he's the only person on the hard compound. This is absolutely perfect for him.
Yeah, just following that train. He's in fight with the front runners. He can see Lawrence. They're all in DRS, and when the tyres start to slip away, he'll just have those doors open for him. As further back, I think that's PW Jones and Glitched Hen fighting away as we got going into Sector 2. You see that train struggling to catch back up now, almost 4 seconds with all the squabbling that they've been doing behind. They're just letting the front 5 run away with it a little bit. We're on lap 7 now of 32. So things are starting to get a little bit interesting. Potential pit stop strategy within the next 7 laps for the 1 stops. In the next 3 to 4 if you are 2 stopping.
I don't think we're going to see many 2 stops. I think these guys are pretty much clued up. They know that trying to get 30 seconds back is, in 32 laps, I don't think is quite possible, to be honest. I think the 1 stop is the way to go.
Yeah, the pit straight's just too long. I gotta agree with you. Like, say, if it was a bit shorter and the laps weren't as fast, then it's probably feasible. I think it doesn't help that the laps are as fast as they are. Like, you saw qualifying coming down.
Oh, we are watch over the battle for P9 here. We got Aiden making a move on Bosmos. Bosmos has to back out. Great move from Aiden and potential switchback. The Fizz getting involved up the inside, going into Tosa on Bosmos. Room given, all fair. It's not Montoya and Schumacher, but this battle going all the way up to Peretea. What's that corner?
Peretula.
Yeah, that's the one.
And down into Aqua Minerale we go, back around we go, but all this fighting is...
Oh, the Fizz!
Oh! Fizz has had a moment! Through goes Hako, through goes Banana, and he's now going to try and fight back on Banana, but he has to defend against Ratty, who's tried to send one up the outside.
Yeah,
almost locking wheels.
I tell you what, Ratty, he's not enjoying this, but he's certainly giving it a good go. He is. He's giving it a go. I wouldn't be surprised to see maybe someone take a gamble on the 2 stop. Someone like Ratty, because all you're doing is he's boxing. Ratty is boxing. This is going to be a hard tyre. He's probably going to try and get it to the end, but if it doesn't, he needs to make an early call as to when he needs to box for mediums. Luke is the first retirement at Imola, so we're down to 17. The leader is Marius Anderson. Again, what did I say? Season 3 champion. He knows what it takes to win races.
Yeah, he's come back after his holiday. He's on a holiday high, nice and relaxed, not worn out. He's just recharged all his batteries, and look at what he's doing now. Almost had pole position. Lawrence just managing to take it by half a tenth. You can see how matched these two are. But Marius Anderson's race pace is proving to be crucial and dominant here over the 2 drivers. These 2 could be the rivals in championship going down the line. I know I said earlier on that you can't put the name down to one driver, but with the way Marius has just come back after missing 2 rounds, or missing a round, I think, and he's straight back to the top, is crucial for a championship charge.
Do you know what would be really clever now from McLaren? Is if Marius slows the front pack right down to get Ratty back in to this race later on. That would be a brilliant strategic call from the McLaren boys. I wonder if they're able, because Imola isn't too difficult to slow the pace down in the corners. You can hold drivers back.
There are a lot of corners, and some higher speed corners that You could potentially swing it to the outside. If you see your rival ahead trying to slow you down, if he's not got his car in the correct position, you can see an open door. And fast hand corners, it's just about the line. You get your line right, and you're straight there in front. So it could work, but for like now, for example, down into Aqua Minerale, this would be crucial in slowing the pack down. As we come back up to the Sector 3 chicane, slowing down there, crucial in slowing the pack down. Sector 2, start of Sector 2, I don't see. Oh, Paratrulia, maybe. I don't know. That's more of a lift and send corner, so... Could it be? Could it be? Maybe turn 7, braking early, trying to block off the line, get the car centred. Maybe.
Well, I tell you what could be. Look at PW Jones. He's gotten away from the battle for P6. Aiden Evans, been squabbling with Malum and Glitch, has allowed the Alpine driver to get away, and it has to be said, a solid P6 at the minute.
Malone Jonas.
Aiden Pitts. We got a yellow flag in Sector 2.
Aiden and the Fizz are pitted.
That's Hilly. Hilly's had another spin in the same spot as well. So yeah, it's not quite working out for him, but he might be able to help his teammate out. Who knows? But watch out for Aiden. He's going to get a mega undercut on the guys he was around. Ratty has jumped in. That's how big the undercut is.
And a tyre difference, so it's only 2 laps, but in the end it could pay dividends to Aiden Evans. Ratty has been running for 2 laps so far.
Yeah, but look how far he's behind. He's 3 seconds behind. I wonder if Aiden changed his front wing.
Do you have damage? I mean, it's hard to say from lap 1. There was a lot of carbon flying. He could have picked up some wing damage, ever so slight, maybe missing an end plate that we haven't noticed throughout the first stint of the Grand Prix, but hards to the end now, evidently, 21 laps.
I think one of the Aston Martins should pit here. I think that was a missed opportunity for one of the Astons to jump ahead. Lap 12, it's not too far off wanting to box. Yeah, and Taglia, loving life. Jonesy, P6, Banana, P8.
They've got
Akko solid
in the
up to P9.
70s in tyre wear on those mediums around about now, so I would suspect all the pit stops starting in the next 2 laps. One stopper, like you say, being the way to go. They would have boxed maybe lap 9, for example, like Ratty did, for a 2 stop to be on the cards. Marium Jonas in the pits. Is he going to come out ahead?
Yeah, he is. No, look how far he is. Look how far Ratty's ahead of Malum. Malum was in P8. Ratty was in P14.
Wow.
That undercut, I know he might have to pit again, but he also might not have to. So I rate this. I rate this gamble. I rate this gamble by Ratty. He was losing nothing. He was in P14, and he's massively undercut these drivers.
I mean, he had nothing to lose, really, did he? He had to try something. There's a battle there, I believe. Or is that somebody having a moment and dropping out of
I think that was Hacko.
Is Hacko having a moment? I think so.
I think Hacko just spun it.
Hilly 3 seconds. Hilly's really not having a good time here.
Yeah, it's Abbott. He's got PSGL tomorrow, so he'll learn a lot about his. Hacko had a spin off Variante Ultra, I think, or at least a moment, shall we say. Watch out for Ratty.
Yeah, on board with Ratty. He's coming down the start finish straight. Is he going to undercut the front runners? Lawrence Patton down the pit lane. It's going to be close. No, he still leads, but he's come out right behind Ethan
but he's there, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's right there, so he's...
Come out right behind your front runners, right behind Ethan Davis. 4-lap tyre difference at this stage is going to mean absolutely nothing. But 10 laps time as he makes a move around the outside, trying to benefit, having those tyres fired up and ready to go, where Ethan Davis just come out of the pits. The tyres are still trying to get into that working window. Reduced grip at the minute for the Aston Martin reservist, but he's done well to put a car between himself and the Charger. Ratty Cooper fan now needs to defend against that McLaren, who's fired up, ready to take positions as contact. Cooper sent for a spin, ended up cutting the corner there.
Yeah, I'm not too sure Cooper should have thought that to be done all the time. He wasn't on the optimal line. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think Cooper should have probably just backed out of that.
Well, no doubt it's going to end up in the steward's room at some point. No, Cooper
Yeah, well,
wants
it
to
might
try
not.
him.
It might not.
If I know Cooper, that's going to stewards.
I think we're probably more likely to see a retirement. But saying that, I mean, virtual full safety car. I think Marius Anderson is in real trouble. Right back.
Yeah, I think he might be, but Ethan Davis and Lawrence Patton have pulled away from Ratty. Ratty with that moment with Cooper Fan. It's cost him seconds. Dear time, Aiden Evans now needs to try and claw back some time to get back at those front runners. But Aiden Evans in a good position here.
Yep, absolutely. It's going to be interesting how Taglio or Alabono, as Cooper Fan, I think is just rightly letting a few people through.
He's got damage still on that front right
Yeah,
side.
he's had damage since lap 1, I think.
Could have contributed to that incident then. Into
At the end of the day,
Rally.
he's able to defend because he's helping his teammate. So
He's
he's
trying.
entitled to defend. Yeah, he's entitled to defend.
Oh,
I tell you what, PW Jones did well to avoid that.
wow. That's
But look how much time and places PW Jones has missed out. He was 2.7 seconds ahead of Aiden Evans. He's now way back.
Yeah, Aiden Evans took the fastest lap. We have two more drivers going into the pits. Marius Anderson and Max Homesley. How far back are they going to come out? Hey, they've not done too bad. They've not done too bad. They've come out of the pits. P7 and P8. I think we may have overestimated how bad the pit stop is this game cycle round. It seems to be a lot better than 24. They just don't seem to be being held as long as you'd think. I mean, Lawrence Patton well and truly up the road, but Marius Anderson, he's there with his teammate. They can work together now. Julian Prince leaving the session after a retirement. Not surprised with his current penalties. Unfortunate, mate. Sorry, it's been a disaster race for you. We'll see you next time, and hopefully you have a better run-in, my friend.
Yeah, unfortunately, at the minute, it does seem to be the same names having the same incidents at the moment.
It's just unfortunate.
Ethan Davis, right there, to be fair.
He's been there all Cooper stint. He had a beautiful start. What a start. He was the one that jumped Marius, wasn't he? Off the start, or was that Max? I think it was Ethan who jump-started. Well, I didn't jump-start, just had a beautiful start. And ended up jumping up on Marius Anderson straight out of the gate. He's just had a really good race, really dominant race so far.
Marius having a look at Hacko around the outside of the exit of Tamburella. Hacko coming under fire from Ratty as well, so he knows that maybe he's not battling those guys.
That was cold.
I don't think Hacko's pit yet, which is why he didn't really fight them. Hacko, I'm not really sure why he stayed out, but he's definitely struggling.
Max Homesley straight through. No break.
Yeah, he did have that moment, Hacko, didn't he? So maybe he hoping for a safety car or something. But hey, listen, we're only 16 laps in to 32, so
pretty sure I just saw Max Homesley get a warning coming up out of Aquamina Rally, back up the hill.
Alabono as pit from P1. I think this is too early. This seems early to go on to the medium.
Well, he's running a lighter car. It's not going to be as harsh on the tyres as Marius Anderson. I believe he's going for a move on the Haas, even rightly so. Not the Haas to be cab of Aiden Evans. Marius Anderson now chipping away time to try and catch back up to the front pack. He does have 2 lap pressure tyres. He's dropped that time right down. There was a couple seconds. He's now 1.3 and closing. Wow, he's just been on form, top form, all race. Ethan Evans, Lawrence Patton and Marius Anderson all on top form all the way from the race start. Ratty's had a bit of a moment, pulled out a strategy masterclass to get himself back up there in contention. Aiden Evans had a beautiful start to the race as well. Helped him well and truly along with that undercut to get up into P4 and fight along with the front runners. Max Hosley was also a driver looking to contend for the front, but boxed right about the same time. Marius Anderson has just not been able to fire those tyres up to the best of his ability so far. Taglia now fresh medium compound tyres. Not too much of a pace deficit. I think he may get the fastest lap, may pull back some tenths, but as the laps unfold, they're just going to burn away. Oh, yeah, that's a spinning Fizz! The Fizz is sideways and he's gone into the wall. His wing is damaged, critical damage. The front right side, that's certainly a replacement in need. We just saw that as we was on board with his teammate Taglia coming out of the final couple corners. We just saw the Kicksalver go 90 degrees to the left and into the barrier. Unfortunate there for the Fizz.
Yeah, what Marius was doing, or certainly is trying to do, is he's pulling along Aiden, he's pulling along Max, and he's certainly pulling along his teammate. So I think Ratty has had the strategy of the session so far, because he was in no man's land.
Yeah, I agree. Ratty has pulled back a strategy masterclass here. Perfect timing, perfect tyres, and just put the pace down when needed. Stayed with his teammate for as long as he possibly could. In P6, now, could be better, but he has still got some position to gain. Currently net P5. Aiden Evans with a 3-second time penalty just ended up picking that one up. So still well and truly within contention of a higher points finish. So much needed for the McLarens. But it's Lawrence I've got my eye on at the minute. He needs to score as high points as possible in Constructors as he's running on his own one-man team at the moment. And he is in the highest points position of them all, currently leading. But Ethan Davis and Marius Anderson are coming for that lead.
Yeah, well, I think as it stands, this would put Lawrence leading the Drivers' Championship with maybe about 6 points difference to Ratty. Ratty only picking up 8 points at the minute.
Yeah, P5. What does P5 get Aiden Evans?
Oh, wait, he's in at P5, isn't he? P5's 10, so... Yeah, he would be 5 points behind Lawrence at the minute. But listen, this is only round 4. We've got another 8 after this race, so it's still very much game on.
Yeah, still very early days, but everybody trying to get the points in when they need them the most. Like Lauren's consistent podium finishes so far, done well to get 41 points up to this moment, and now we have him charging for a potential victory. This will be 2 this season. I think he's already won 1. What is it? 1 victory and a podium. I think that's it. 1 victory and a podium.
Do you think Ratty is at the stage now where he might be thinking about a second pit stop, because he's obviously only going backwards now, and he's seen already the undercut is worth a lot.
I should certainly think so.
Yeah, I think, I know he's 6 at the minute, but
Marius Anderson getting a bit braver on the outside.
Oh yeah, he's not going to get a move done there. He's always going to get squeezed to the outside. Ethan Davis, absolutely, I think, been phenomenal so far. So is Max.
Max,
I have to say, I'm actually being very impressed with these Division 1 guys today.
They've been very, very clean racing so far. Hard-fought racing, strategies. People going for random optimistic calls, and of course the qualifying straight away at the gate. It's been entertaining. It's been very entertaining.
Spinning Ferrari, that's glitched in. Joined qualifying late. He's not having the best race.
Oh, Marius Anderson dives to the inside. He's opened the door for 3 wide, coming out of the final turns. But Maxie's smarter than that, and backside of it falls behind his teammate. Marius has forced his way through, but here comes Aiden Evans as well.
I don't understand the move. He had the whole DRS the next straight. He would have got past. Now it might be sent into the stewards. He might get a penalty. Who knows? But Aiden Evans was definitely sniffing around. Unfortunately, nothing could do. I mean, I think if that isn't for Max or Ethan, there's some more contact there. So well done to the Aston Martin drivers.
Yeah, reserve drivers, Max as well. He did very well to not get involved in that. He had the open door, backed out of it. Smart guy. Didn't want to risk damage, didn't want to risk a race and an event. Thought, nah, you two want to squabble that way, you two squabble that way. Glitch 10, retiring in the pits, not surprised. You're washed. And,
Yeah, enjoy that comment. Yeah, it's not been a great race for the Ferrari drivers, has it? Let's be fair. Cooper has a damage since lap 1, I think, and glitched his. Well, he was in the middle of it, wasn't he? And then I don't know if he pitted the wrong lap or made a mistake, but yeah, not a great day.
Yeah, not been a great day indeed. On board with Max, he's closing up to his teammate there. He's sizing up a move maybe. You've noticed that the slipstream not as powerful, neither is the tow with double DRS. They're just not gaining like they would in the 24 game. So it makes it a lot harder. Marius Anderson, 3 seconds, slap on the wrist. You're having that one, son. That's not getting removed. You've been a bit questionable, and that's certainly been proven worthy of the game to give you 3 seconds. That's disastrous.
It's a virtual. We got a virtual safety car. The Fizz has got damage, I think. Yeah, he's got no wing at all. That's a virtual, and it doesn't really do much for anybody. It just nullifies the race.
Well,
but what it does do, it gives everybody a chance to recoup their ERS levels.
Yeah, it does, and lets them cool off a little bit. Lets them cool their engines down as well, because in that slipstream they'll be heating up, and they lose performance after about 135, 100 degrees, 130 degrees. They start to lose peak performance and top speed. So you're actually losing out in the end. So it allows them to cool their engines down, recoup a bit of that battery, and of course the tyres, they're going to go the distance. But Fizz, not too good for you, my friend, unfortunately.
Yeah, he was looking all right early on, wasn't he? But then he's had a couple of spins and whatever. I wonder if Ratty will pit here. If I was Ratty, I would gamble on the pit stop.
I wonder if Lawrence then...
Never mind. Never mind, it's green flags.
Green flags. We are racing again. Ratty has chosen not to pit, and he's now 7 seconds behind a 5-car DRS train. These 5 drivers now going to fight it out for the podium positions, which will, as it stands, ultimately be Lawrence, Ethan, and Max with those time penalties. Marius to 4th, and Aiden stays in 5th.
Yeah, which, it doesn't really do... Oh, yeah, we got a spinner. That's a Red Bull. That's Malum. Malum is off. He's gone off at Tamburella.
Rejoins the
He needs to be careful. He needs to be careful with those rejoins. Bosmos gets into a point spot. I think he's just dropped it. I think he's just taking too much curb.
It's easy done. Easy done at Tamburella. It is. That I agree with. You just run a little bit too wide. You're trying to cut that first corner so you can line up the second turn, and it's easy to just, lift the back end up, and it's completely unsettled from there. You're just trying to catch yourself from spinning.
I wonder who's gonna win this race. I mean, Lawrence has looked, I think, pretty comfortable up front. Marius will probably try and get that penalty removed. It's highly unlikely because, generally speaking, a track limit is, usually legit. PW Jones with an uncharacteristic time penalty as well, but he's not. I mean, the next one to him is Banana, who's. I have to say, I've been quietly surprised where Banana is. I expect him to be a lot higher up.
Oh, Max is having a look on his teammate. Again, they are just reserve drivers, so team orders are not a thing between this duo. They are free to fight it out how they see fit, within regulations and rules, of course. I will spank your booties. But looking on board, Marius Anderson's almost brought DRS though.
Yeah, Marius Anderson is extremely good in Sector 2. That is where he gains. Don't be surprised to see Lawrence get it back in this final few little straights, get that DRS and blow past going down the pit straight.
Oh, it's close. I think Lawrence may have maintained the DRS, so it was very, very close to being broken, which would have opened the door for Ethan to put the pressure on Lawrence ahead. But I think in the end that rear wing will be opened. It paid no dividends. And the rear wing is not open. Oh, dearie me.
It's not, and that allows the Aston Martins to close up. This is not good for Lawrence Patton. he is in severe trouble here. He is on the verge of, well, he's at the minute in the podium spot, but if he falls back, 5 or 6 tenths, he might be close to that 3 seconds. For now, he's okay.
Lou Jonas picks up a 3 seconds. He's on the soft compound going for a fastest lap attempt. Why not? You've got no points.
And he won't get it because he's just had a warning, so... but fair play to Boss Moss. He had damage early on. He hasn't given up. He's now crawling around in P10. So, okay, it's only a point, but that's what you get for sticking in it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the main battle is only for P2.
Lawrence very well come in, open up a gap there, but it's to no avail. The speed.
I think the Aston's going to fly past here.
Yeah, to no avail.
Certainly one of them is. Yeah, I think Lawrence might have made a mistake, because he went from P1 and then he literally lost the 1 second straight away.
Oh, Lawrence struggling there. He's open the door. Here goes Max. Yep. Inside line. Looking for it. Slight contact between the two. Evasive action from the Haas. And through goes Max. It's an Aston Martin. 1-2. Providing that Marius Anderson doesn't break that 3 second gap.
Yeah, I mean, Lawrence is now officially off the podium. So he needs to make moves here.
Oh,
I will say I do think Max has had the pace over Ethan.
I think the tyres are gone on that Haas. He's really struggling.
I think these two Aston Martins have done brilliant though on their first race.
Oh, absolutely. They're going to fight in each other now as we come down and start finish straight. It's going to be an easy pass for Max to slip on by. That DRS being very powerful here in Imola. Emilio-Romagna Grand Prix. With that one mighty long DRS straight down the start finish back straight. Well, you could call it starting straight. With its little kinky curves that the class as turn 1, but I wouldn't even class it as turn 1. I'd say Tambrello's turn 1. These, if it's DRS aided, I would not class it as a corner. Therefore, it should not have a number.
Yeah, it looks like Aiden's going to finish P5. He's 8.5 clear of Ratty. He does have 6 seconds of pens. So P5 is as high as he's going to get. Ratty with a great P. A little bit disappointing from Taglia, isn't it? Considering he had that long stint on the hards. He did box a bit early, but he's made no impression. I definitely expected a bit more.
Yeah, it's just not played out for him. He was trying that optimum strategy, that alternate strategy. Starting on the hards, and it's not paid dividends. Maybe boxing a bit too early, like you say. It's just he's burned out those mediums too fast, and now it's all tyre saving. Still got 5 laps to go, and he's already done 10 laps.
Yeah, Lawrence is he's at that 1 second now, and he's falling behind these Astons. Still, a solid result regardless. That'll be a core cut for Ethan Davis, I'm sure. Banana is on the back of Taglia as well, coming through Tamburella. So we have got a battle here for P6. They are.
Yeah, they are starting to close in just a little bit. Within DRS now is PW Jones. So that's going to certainly open the door for an interesting fight when we get down that start finish straight. He's starting to chip away at the tenths on Ratty. It was 9 tenths, now 7, now 6. As we come down into Aqua Minerale, Jones it making a late push into the second stint.
Yeah, Banana is the one who's going to benefit though because he's got no penalties, and I think he's on the hard. So Taglia, his medium is going to drop off, whereas the hard will be the superior tyre. So watch out for the Mercedes driver in the final few laps.
Everything just slowing down now as they all get themselves ready for the final shootout. 3 laps to go. Lap 29 has started. Marius Anderson leading by almost 3 seconds, so that time penalty going to make no difference whatsoever. He's used it as fuel in the fire to help him push on and bridge a gap over his rivals.
Moment from Taglia. I can't believe he saved that. What a save from the kick driver. Absolute send into Tamburella. I don't know how he saved that. That was a great catch.
I think those mediums are starting to fall away now from Taglia. Or Alabono, as you may have called him out in the chat.
And PW Jones is on the back of Ratty now. 4 tenths.
DRS down the start-finish straight. It will be an easy move for PW Jones if he gets a little bit closer, as he does so. Just in that 4/10 zone now, setting it up, lining it up perfectly before we get going. He may even try and take the move earlier, coming out of the final corners. Yeah, getting ready in the penultimate corner, right over that rear diffuser. And then the rear wing will be open. We hit that detection point right about now. There it is, open rear wing on that Alpine. It glides into that slipstream and pulls ahead to the outside line. Beautifully done.
Yeah, and Marius is just on the bubble for the 3 seconds to get the victory, so it won't matter if he sends a report in or not. 2.8, he's got in 2.5 laps. Very, very good chance of doing it. Max is giving it his all, so is Ethan, and so is Lawrence. 2 laps to go, a lot of racing to go, but Marius is looking very, very good right now.
I think Lawrence went into tyre save for those earlier laps and allowed Mount Jonas and Max and Ethan to pull ahead. He's preserved the hard compound tyre a little bit better, maybe even fuel saving and recharging the battery as we're about to get ready to go on the penultimate lap. We come around the final couple of corners now. Lawrence starts to close back up in the DRS.
Yeah, I think it was crucial for Jonesy to get past Ratty because Banana has yet to get past. He's 2 seconds behind Jonesy now. With a little bit of defending, Jonesy might be able to nick that 3-second buffer. But it's going to come down to thousandths rather than tenths, I think.
I imagine it's where it matters. It's where it's at. If it comes down to it, 1,000th could mean the difference. Doesn't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. Winning is winning.
All right, calm down, Vin Diesel.
Rightly so. Banana passes Ratty under DRS. Easy pickings there. PW Jones is still trying to push on now as Banana breaks into that 1 second gap to PW Jones and breaks a 1 second gap open to Ratty.
Interesting though, isn't it, that Marius was one of the last to pit. He gave up track position for that tyre life, and it's absolutely paid dividends right now. 3 seconds dead on the bubble.
Yeah, it's been an hard push in this second stint for Marius to get that 3 second, pushing the car to the maximum of its abilities. Not even Max or Ethan, who've done very, very well throughout most of the Grand Prix, have barely been able to chip away at that time. He's just finding tenths corner after corner, and now he's just maintaining it, but he drops 2.8 now. He's on the cusp, he's on the fringes, Ricky. It could go down to a photo finish here, down to the thousandths, like you said earlier on.
Well, if it's a dead heat, it'll go to a fastest lap.
Ooh.
If it's dead heat, it'll go to the driver who set the fastest lap. So, yeah, that's lucky. Yeah, but this is the sector. This is the sector where Marius has been so strong for 32 laps, or 31 laps. Let's see what he can do. And in fact, Max is the one who's had a better sector so far.
Yeah, he's trying to chip away the time. He only needs to
Oh,
keep
it's half a
though.
temp. Oh, he had a wiggle.
Ooh. God, it's close. It's very, very close.
Oh, he's had a horrible Variante Alta.
He's still there within the fringes, a tenth
Oh,
and a half. It's up and down, it's up and down, within a tenth out of a tenth.
Marius is
Marius Anderson now pushes
sketchy.
everything he's got. Sketchy out of the final couple corners. It's 2.9, 2.8 and dropping towards the line. He crosses it, he's done all he can do. But Max has done more
Max has
and
done
managed to take it by half a tenth of a second.
Brilliant.
Brilliant stuff. Ethan Davis finishing off your podium sitters. Two
Brilliant.
reservists from out of nowhere coming to what?
Absolutely fantastic. Well done, Max. Well done, Ethan, on your debuts. Congratulations to Marius on a returning podium. It won't be the victory like he wanted, but he'll be happy with a solid start. He had a great quali. He's had a strong race, so only positives.
I just saw Ethan Davis's car on top of Lawrence for a second, but that's what cut off my train of thought. I was like, what? But that was a good race. That went very, very well. Unfortunate to see 7 drivers not finish. Those penalties hit them hard. But ultimately, Taglia not doing as well as we thought. The alternate strategy surely is not one to do, but that's good learning. That's good insight for future races to come in this game cycle. Taglia will be sure to not do that again, and we'll start.
Yeah,
compound tyre.
He had good pace on the yards. I just don't think he had the right strategy. And I think he also boxed too early to make it work. But listen, a decent debut.
Yeah, Lauren's tyres were crying. We could see that. See, you dropped off quite a bit in the final closing laps, but in the end, just falling short of a podium there. It's unfortunate. But I tell you what, who's impressed? Max Housley with the reserve driver victory, which will put you in the standings. Reserve drivers can earn points and can win championships. So if you stay reserve all the way through the championship and end up winning all the races, you'll still be crowned champion. So something
Make sure you get the
to look
standards,
forward
mate.
to. Yeah, absolutely. As an incentive to reserve, an incentive to race. Max Haisley, crucial 25 points. Marius Anderson third. Ethan Davis, reserve driver again on the podium. Lawrence just missing out after his tyres screamed at him in the final closing laps. Banana fifth. Aidan Evans with the time penalty will drop down to sixth. Peter Jones seventh, followed by Ratty, Boss Moss, and Taglia doing your top 10. Just outside of the points, Cooper Fan finishing, and then DNFs, Malium Jonas, The Fizz, Glitched Hen, Hacko, Julian Prince, Hilly, and LR Luke. And that will do us for this showing here. Now we go to the interview room to see if anybody would like to come for a quick little chat. So your top 3, the reservists Max, Malium Jonas, and Ethan. Be sure to join us for that.
Yeah, you'll have to ping them, but
yes, indeedy.
Hopefully they'll join. You can crack on with the interviews. So. Yeah, it was good. It was a good race, a very good result for Max. Won by 400ths of a second, 32 laps, 80 minutes of qualifying, all defined by a small gap of 400ths. I mean, it's just brilliant.
I've just pinged the drivers now and we wait patiently to see if anybody would like an interview. The top 3 drivers. Have a quick little chat about the race has gone on. It'd be nice to talk to the reserve drivers as well. See how they feel about the way they've gone on in the first time racing here. Max and Ethan, first time debuts, podium sitters. It's lovely to see that. Marius Anderson looking to potentially take another victory, was caught short. And that could mean the difference. But he scored back a crucial 18 points here as Marius Anderson, much needed to help him along in the championship as he missed out those rounds on his holiday. So, Ricky, Marius could be clawing this back again, but Max, we see him in the future, and Ethan, likely contenders to put a stop to the McLaren's potential charge to championship.
Well, I'm not sure how much Max can actually race, to be honest. I think tonight might have been just a lucky time. But hopefully these drivers who have reserved tonight can reserve, and you know, obviously we've got taken a seat or two, and we can start filling these teams up. Because if that's the kind of caliber that they can produce, that's exactly the driver that we want.
Well, we do have Two drivers in the booth currently for an interview. We had Ethan Davis, reserve driver, joining us on the debut, taking a surprise podium though. Well done indeed. A beautiful race from yourself. Let's have a rundown. How was your qualifying though? And your first time out on track here with us?
Qualifying was very interesting. Obviously, intermediates to dry conditions. I wasn't expecting it to actually go dry until the end, but it did. And I think for a fair few of us who went out on the softs at the end, it was just all about getting the kind of the lap in at the right moment and not getting held up. I got a little bit of traffic in terms of dirty air on my lap, but at the end of the day, it was best to get the best conditions at the end of qualifying, and that put me P3, which is probably higher than what I was actually expecting because I think my pace in the race was a little bit slower than the people around me, but fortunately DRS kind of kept me in it. Obviously, the medium to hard strategy was kind of the one to go with, and I think it will be for a lot of the tracks this year on this year's game because of how good the hards are. So it's good to end on that tyre. But it was just all about kind of just holding DRS as much as I could with the people around me, just because they did have that extra tenth or two on me per lap. I mean, yeah, obviously the racing was good. One little collision, but I'll have to take a look at that from my POV after the race and see if it was obviously my fault or it was someone else's fault. But other than that, the race is really good. P3, really happy with that, and yeah, that's all I really can say about that one, to be fair.
No, it was fantastic and interesting. You say the medium hard being the strategy to go for. I've seen some tracks drivers have tried to go for two stops, and do you think it could be track dependent, the two-stop strategy?
Absolutely. Obviously, with Imola having such a long pit lane, it's always going to be kind of the preferred strategy to try to hold on to the tyres because you're going to lose too much time in the pit lane. But for tracks that do have short pit lanes, for example, Canada or something, I think two stops going to definitely be the way to go because you do lose a heck of a lot of time at the end of your stint on old tyres. So I think it's going to be interesting to see. I think this game is really going to bring out a lot of different strategies, whether it be one stop or two stop, which has not been the case in a lot of the previous games. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to some of the other races to come up, and hopefully the strategy can differ from driver to driver and spice things up.
Absolutely awesome stuff. Well, congratulations on your debut podium as well, and a good point to finish to get your name up there in the standings straight away out of the gate. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Take care, guys.
We'll move on to Marius Anderson. Just ever fell short of another race victory after you come back from your little stint away on holiday, and a likely challenger for pole position, but again just fell short to Lawrence Patton there by half a tenth. Did you have half a tenth in the bag though in qualifying? Do you think you could have pulled that lap out?
I don't think I had half a tenth, but I think there was definitely half a tenth in track improvements. I was the first one to set a lap, and I think Lawrence was one of the last. So I think just in track improvements, there was definitely half a tenth. And then, of course, there's always 100 here and there in mistakes and so on. But other than that, I'm really happy.
Of course, on into the Grand Prix, picking up that 3 second time penalty, which was the denominator from P1 to P2. Now, how were you feeling on that one? Is that something that could be removed, or is that going to stick with you?
Nah, that's a stupid mistake. I mean, or multiple. It was when I got out on the hard tires. First one cold tires, I misjudged how bad it would be, and then when I got on warm time tires, I misjudged how good it would be. So two stupid mistakes, which cost a 3 second penalty, but it is what it is.
Absolutely, but again, still good enough to get yourself back up here on the podium and make a little bit of a mid-season charge back up to the top. This will put you up in contention for challenging for the top runners after you had a 25 points and now plus 18. So looking good. How are you feeling for the next rounds to come? You excited for anything on the calendar that may potentially be more suited to your liking?
Yeah, I mean, getting P2 in one of my worst tracks is a huge confident boost, so I'm ready for anything now, it feels like.
Lovely stuff. Well, congratulations, and that is all for now. And on to our race victor, Max Housley. Well done on your debut here, coming in as the reserve driver in the Aston Martin as well, with Ethan on that team as well. I'm guessing that you weren't talking to each other, so the pit stops when you lined yourself up with each other could have certainly been a bit of a kerfuffle to say the least. So, what was your thoughts on that when you were racing side by side with him?
Uh, to be fair, I had no clue who Ethan is before this race, so I was just racing for myself. I mean, I've got no stand in this championship, so I was just kind of testing to see where I am about in this league. But turns out it came out to a win. But it was great racing. Frustrating at times. I was stuck at the back of the train, obviously P4 for most of the race. But as soon as I just followed the race leader into the pits, to be fair, thought he had the better strategy, going longer because I was on a lower wing setup and I managed to get a bit less tyre wear to drag it out more and it benefited in the end. And to be fair, I was quite lucky on the penalty, or else I don't think I would have won that race. I didn't have the pace as the leader to win that race. I think the low downforce was the great the strategy to make the moves in that train. But yeah, overall, it was really fun and can't wait for next week.
Oh, lovely stuff. But we will see you next week. You say can't wait for next week. So, you feeling confident as we get ourselves ready for round 5 in Austria? One of your more favourable tracks?
I can't lie, I've not really raced it on this game. I don't really race a lot, but I think I'll be all right as long as I'm there. We'll see what happens, but I'm confident. I mean, qualifying, I could have gone for pole quite easily, but I went just ahead of the train of cars when there was like 20 seconds left, just so I could not be in that mix for the last lap. But I ended up getting stuck behind a Ferrari in my hot lap, which probably cost me like half a second, as I was pretty much pushing them across the line. But I'm feeling confident. I know the field now, so yeah.
Lovely stuff. Well, congratulations on your debut win as well. And
Thank you.
we'll see you next week to see what you can produce out in Spielberg.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that will
it'll be
do
fun.
us all. Oh, sorry, go on.
Oh no, I was just saying, yeah, it'll be fun.
Absolutely. Well, again, yeah, congratulations. Good victory. Now, that will do us all for this evening. Be sure to join us next week as we head over to Austria in the Spielberg circuit. Red Bull Ring. I'm excited for that one. Get going on Tuesday with Division 2 before we come back with the Division 1 on the Wednesday. Same place, same time. You don't want to miss that one. You saw how tight things got here down to the line between Marius Anderson and Max Housley. But next week, certainly going to be a banger.